We need to talk about Liverpool's midfield. Now, maybe, just about, if you are as skilled as Jurgen Klopp, perhaps you could consider losing 4 senior midfielders in one transfer window a reset. But surely not 5. 5! That's a demolition. If you study each midfielder individually, I think that you can concoct a strong argument to justify the exit of each player that's left. Every single one of the 5, I think you could create a reason as to why that person should leave individually. But the second that you make it a cumulative thing, the second that you put 5 players all on the same sheet and they all leave, that feels really troubling to me. Look, if you were to say to me, Naby Keita leaves Liverpool, I would think that was fine. I would understand and I would agree with the situation. If you were to say to me, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain leaves Liverpool, again, I would agree. James Milner, not an issue. Jordan Henderson, I don't necessarily agree, but individually, if the rest were staying, fine. Fabinho, similar to Henderson. Don't really agree. Keep hold of him if you can. But if he's the only one leaving, it's not a problem. But 5, those 5 players, all leaving within, 3 months of one another? That is a really tough sell. And Liverpool now need to buy so smartly. They need to get this right because everything good that Jurgen Klopp has done over his time at Liverpool has generally been propelled forward by an excellent and exquisite midfield. He needs to replicate that now. Boubacar Kamara, Ryan Gravenberch, Calvin Phillips, Romeo Lavia, Czech Decore, Florentino Luis. So many players are mentioned around going to Liverpool. I know who the answer is. And at the end of this video, I will tell you the player that Liverpool need to sign. There is one obvious signing that Liverpool need to make. And if they make this signing, they are in contention for winning the league. That is how good this player is. But they really do need to get it right because replacing Fabinho, never can that man be replaced. It is replacing the irreplaceable. In that very specific specialist role that Fabinho occupied, literally nobody in Europe came close to him. He was sensational at doing what he did. He was as good as anyone. There is nobody that you could put on the table that was better at doing what Fabinho does than Fabinho. That's how good he is. Think about what he is to Liverpool. Think about what he represents. His nicknames. He is called either the Lighthouse because he sees danger or the Hoover. That one's pretty obvious. And look, even if you agree that Liverpool need a younger model, surely Fabinho would have been the ideal tutor to ease this new younger model into that role. Learn from the best, pass on the mental, set the standards, demonstrate what it means to play for Liverpool in central midfield. And now he's not going to be there. And equally, the other player that I would say sets the standard in that Liverpool midfield, Jordan Henderson, he's not going to be there either. So there is now genuine jeopardy that Liverpool, on the first day of the season, when they play Chelsea, they could end up facing us with 3 debutants in midfield. Look, I'm assuming that Trent Alexander-Arnold will continue his role as a number 6, and that potentially eases this issue for Jurgen Klopp. But 3 debutants, potentially, that's a troubling thought, isn't it? Liverpool fans, tell me. This can't fill you with joy and confidence, can it? Look, even if Alexander-Arnold does remodel himself, redefine himself, surely it still leaves Liverpool massively light and massively lacking in depth. So you've got Szoboszlai, you've got McAllister, you're then going to have Trent Alexander-Arnold. I still think that Klopp needs to find a top-class midfielder to slot in there as well. People will talk to me about Jones and maybe Elliott, but that isn't for me here. I think Klopp needs a top-tier central midfielder in this absurdly expensive market. It's not going to be easy. But look, we are never on this channel going to doubt Jurgen Klopp. We know that Jurgen Klopp is one of the best managers in the world, and he has managed to turn water into wine on many occasions. Think about the team that he has built. Think about the success that he is overseeing. Think about the European Cup final, the title winners, the European Cup final where they didn't win it, going all the way with City. FSG down have been brilliant at Liverpool. They have all been perfect. And Jurgen Klopp is at the epicenter of that. So if anyone can get this right, it's Klopp. Time and time again, he has elevated performances from players that did not seem possible. Andy Robertson, an acquisition from Hull, fairly underwhelming, becomes the best left back in the world. Trent Alexander-Arnold becomes the best right back. Van Dijk, best centre-half in the world. Mo Salah, best left forward in the world. The midfielders, all sensational. The keeper, the best in the world. Sadio Mane, the best on the left. Suddenly goes to a false nine, the best at that. Firmino. Klopp can do it. Klopp can get it right. But I also would suggest that this constant perfection, this constant ability to turn footballers from maybe underwhelming signings into the best in the world in their position, it's unsustainable, and they're going to have to spend some money. Now, Tchouaméni's an interesting one, because this time last year, Liverpool truly believed that they had signed Tchouaméni. He ended up going to Real Madrid, and he is an undoubtedly fantastic player who would be so good for Liverpool. There is a world that I can envisage where this one could still happen. Real Madrid want Mbappe. They need some money. They could free up some money in a year's time by selling Tchouaméni, because they have other midfielders, Bellingham, Camavinga. They can make it work. So maybe Tchouaméni could hold the keys to the success of Liverpool still. And what a player he would be under Klopp. But he isn't the answer. Lavia's been linked. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I think Lavia looks like a great player. It was interesting, though. I did hear Ruben Selles talking about him, and he didn't seem to think that Lavia was particularly impressive. But from my take, I think Lavia's looked brilliant. He was very good against Chelsea. I remember a moment where he actually sat Mateo Kovacic down. And the way that he intercepts, the way that he tackles, particularly on the edge of his box, the way that he actually allowed James Ward-Prowse to bomb on a bit, pull wide, deliver some crosses, I think Lavia would be a good signing. But that is not what Liverpool need. The answer to all of Liverpool's problems is so obvious to anyone that watched the Qatar World Cup. The answer is Sofyan Amrabat, a hero, a king, exactly my kind of midfielder. Loved the bloke. Grew up, I think, in Holland and played in a very rough style of football. And you can see quite how confrontational, quite how robust, quite how aggressive he is. And he is exactly what Jurgen Klopp needs. In the World Cup, the geezer ran 50 miles. 50! That is so much more than anyone else. He also played every game with painkillers. He was crocked, and he still dedicated himself like that. He was a warrior. Think about his performance in that game against Spain, and he would be so perfect for Jurgen Klopp. Remember that tackle? The tackle against Mbappe. Oh, he's a dream. He would be my dream midfielder. I don't want this to happen for Liverpool. I desperately want him to come to Chelsea. I love him. I love the way he plays the game, and I think Chelsea need that element of steel in the middle. But I really don't, for the life of me, understand why Liverpool aren't just going out and forcing it through with Sofyan Amrabat. That geezer is a warrior, a king, and a winner. So that's my thoughts on Liverpool's midfield. Do you agree with me? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please also give this video a like if you have enjoyed it. Massively helps me out. And if you're new around here, my name is Rory. I talk about football a lot, and it would be my honour to welcome you in to this footballing community. So please do click the subscriber button. It massively helps me out. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a wonderful day. In a bit, yo.